Hello guys, this is the Political Corner and this is Habari Journalism Club. We are just talking about political wokeness and today we have a guest in studio. We have an aspiring political aspirant. Hatujui anataka kwa nini siku gani, but we just know that he's aspiring, he's looking for something, not in 2027. So we have today in studio Mr. Let me not say. Introduce himself, so up to you.
Okay, thank you. As you've been told, my name is Christopher Nyakundi, and politically I'm known as Senator Deep State. Senator Deep State, and in the future ndiye Senator mtarajiwa kaunti ya Kisii. Ni ile tu mwaka bado hujafika na bado hatujatangaza tutaanza lini. Na leo hii I'm here to talk about the state of the nation, and when we talk about the state of the nation, I believe we are talking about politics. Politics dictate everything that goes on within the country, whether we want to talk about economy, religion, education, agriculture. At the end of the day, you'll realize that siasa iko. Kuna mahali tu siasa ina interfere na what we do. Now, looking at the current state of affairs within the country, number one thing I'll tell my fellow citizens, especially our generation, is that wanasiasa ni wale, ni majina yanabadilika au mirengo, but politicians are just the same.
Politics is politics.
Politics is politics. Whichever side you lie on, whether you are one term, whether you are two term, whether you are no term,
Linda ground.
Whether you are Linda ground, Linda mwananchi. Sasa nasikia kuna mrengo mwingine inajiita tuko kadi. And hiyo ni mrengo. I know it is a movement of registering as voters, but it is a movement of its own politically, because at the end of the day it will be hijacked. Yesterday I was listening to our president. Alikuwa anasema tuko kadi ya kuhakikisha anarudi another term. Already it is being hijacked. So currently what I can tell my fellow citizens is that as far as unataka kuwa kadi, hakikisha uko na akili ya kutumia hiyo kadi. Because the forest remains the same. Now these monkeys are rebranding themselves. Maybe today ni monkey kawaida, kesho atakuwa orangutan. Amebadilisha diet, amekuwa mkubwa. So whichever side of the politics that you want to stand on, ensure that at the end of the day uko na msimamo wako. Je, wewe unaangalia nini kwa huyu mwanasiasa? Unajua kuna kile ambacho kinaendelea in our country that we do emotional politics. By emotional politics I mean this. Because everybody is against Nyakundi. Now let me bring it home this way, Ombuak. Truth be told, hakuna mwananchi kusoma manifesto. And this is the reason. Hata wewe ukitaka kusimama, there is no day utaandika manifesto mbaya upeleke wananchi. So the issue of manifesto is a non-issue. We go down to something called the goodwill, political goodwill. Hiyo ndio inabeba siku. Like at the end of the day, huyu mtu mwenye tunataka kupatia kiti anaweza fanya hii kitu. You cannot know political goodwill ya mtu without looking at the track record. Track record will inform you about this person. Because huwezi amka asubuhi na ukaconclude that Nyakundi is a good leader if you've never experienced the goodness of Nyakundi. So lazima political goodwill iangaliwe. And now because our politicians who hawakuji na manifesto mbaya, we are now forced to look for other means of supporting our politicians. And one of them is we go the tribal way. After checking the tribal card ikikataa, tunaanza kuangalia vitu ndogo ndogo kama huyu alikuanga mahali fulani, alifanya nini. And then after us doing emotional politics, we now trickle down to another.
So right now you're saying we are doing emotional politics.
Kenyan politics is emotional. And
why do you say that?
Because of the waves.
Do you think they shouldn't be like emotional right now?
No, we are human beings. We use emotions. But now when we are discussing about leadership and politics, we need to be logic. We can't be emotional. That's why as far as we are shouting one term, kindly support your one term. As far as we are shouting two term, kindly give a base. Give logic, give a foundation to your two term. Give a foundation to your one term. Convince me why politician A is better than politician B. Because Kenya is a wavy nation. Let me bring it home like this. In 2022, we did our elections. 2023, tukavaa sufuria kwa kichwa. And you remember the late Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga. And that is when Sifuna gained serious grounds. Because he is among the few politicians when walivaa sufuria kwa streets. After watu wamevaa sufuria, tukaingia hii broad base. 2024. Tukaingia pale broad base na kuna watu wanakula kutoka kwa broad base. Na maeneo yamefaidika kutoka kwa broad base. After tumepiga broad base, 2024 June, tukaingia kwa maneno ya finance bill. Maneno ya finance bill ilipokuja, wakadanganya Maraga na Mtata. And then Maraga and Mtata were the hottest cakes in the country. Everybody wanted to be involved with Maraga and Mtata. Sasa umeisikia hata Mtata akichangia pale parliament. Senate, umeisikia Mtata? Very rare. Then here came 2025.
Maybe he has something cooking.
Maybe. Let us hope, maybe. Here came 2025. Nikadanganya ndugu yangu Matiang'i hadi akaacha kazi. Akakuja Matiang'i.
Hiyo mni nani? Who do you think mni?
No, on social media. People on social media are very interesting. You know, Kenya is a country that is being run on social media. That's why we kuja kwa ground. If you engage people one on one, you really wonder, huyu ndio mtu mwenye anatweet hivi. Because at the keyboard, people are totally different from live or other ground.
Yeah, from whatever you say.
So after Matiang'i amerudi kwa inchi 2026 January, mimi nimetulia hivi nasikia mimi ndio Sifuna. Mimi nashangaa nilibadilika jina lini kutoka Nyakundi nikaenda kwa mimi ndio Sifuna. And it is a wave. It is coming.
So you think like all the things that have been happening in Kenya so far, from the sufuria, we are reducing back the ilikuwa ku reduce bei ya unga when the sufuria was being banged, Sifuna and Raila were spearheading that. Then now we are mimi ndio Sifuna. Do you think it's just a series of waves? Kenya will always just be in a series of waves and we don't have anything that is coming up like a solid thing that will ever make a difference.
You see, at the end of the day, vita yote mimi huambia watu tunashindia vita yote. Kama tunataka mabadiliko, this change that we really want, the change that imekuwa ikipeleka watu street, the change that is making us tukue kadi.
Do you think we need change, honestly?
No, we don't need something to change. We need people to change. Because Felix, Ayani Alphonse, imagine we are blaming that kuna mafuriko. Okay, I'm not defending eti mafuriko, eti the poor drainage. But wewe umekunywa maji yako vizuri ama umekunywa soda yako vizuri, ukimaliza unatupa chupa hapo nje. You know, we are living in a country where we always think that somebody else is responsible about what we are supposed to do or what is supposed to be done within the country. Because we believe that the politicians wetu ndio watatuletea mabadiliko. It is not our politicians. it is us. It is because, Alphonse, it is only a thief who will entertain a fellow thief. Ikiwa wewe si mwizi, huwezi entertain mwizi.
That brings me to this. Do you think Kenya needs systems or politics? Now that you know you are also like eyeing also to be a senator once in the coming future, do you think we need politicians or do we need systems for things to move on? Because you said like politics like the backbone of everything for every development to go. But we've been seeing a lot of things. Jana, there was the NHIF. Right now we are having a SHA. We don't know. Might be like in 2027 we are going to have another thing else. And you know, we always having this money that is just being used to rebrand and change things. Why don't we like improve the other thing? That's why it brings me to this question of systems. Do you think we need systems or we need politics?
Already the two exist. Already systems and politics exist. The only thing that we lack in between here, because Alphonse, we can't work without politics. Politicians will be there. Systems will be there. We only need politicians of goodwill to ensure that the systems work. If we don't have politicians of goodwill, even if we get working systems, still there will be chaos. Because our legislatures, they are politicians. The Senate is full of politicians. People are running major offices in this country. They are politicians. Or if it is not a politician, it is a politician repaying somebody who supported him or her during politics. So at the end of the day, I'll go back to we need politicians of goodwill.
So do you believe, right now, I know you've seen all the things that have been happening so far.
Yes.
Do you think we have politicians of goodwill? And maybe in a scale of 1 to 10, give us like the scale to which you would rate these politicians of goodwill. How many do we have on a scale of 1 to 10?
On a scale of 1 to 10, okay, currently politicians of goodwill within the country, there are very few, and I'll not wish to mention names. There are very few. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'll give it at 4. 3, 4 there. Depending on, you know, at times you cannot see some of these things depending on your political stance. If you stand on one term, your vision might be blurred not to see some of the things that have been done. If you stand on 2 term, your vision might also be blurred seriously to the extent that you might not see the wrongdoings of the current government. So I'll give it at 4. Yeah, at 4. 4 is enough.
So at 4 is enough.
Yes.
Yani, okay. This is it. Already it's like you're not taking a stand. That's what I'm seeing so far. Do you feel we are at a good place as a country right now?
Currently, where the country is headed to, I'll give it at a neutral stance because, you know, at times there are some things I look at. Because, okay, let me say this. On both sides are being occupied by monkeys. It is only that the villages they are in are different. And I know you get what I mean by both sides. For me, where I stand at this point, you can't convince me to jump from one place to the other. Because it will be like jumping from a pan into fire. Both of them, they are politicians. What is this that the ones in government want to come and do for us in 2027 that they have never done during all this time they've been in power? And what is it that now those who are in now the united opposition want to do for us that they have never done? That's why, to some extent, let me give it a benefit of doubt. But in 2032, we are going to have a generational overhaul. That is why you see both people in government and in opposition, they are very eager to make it to power in 2027 because they know by 2032 we'll be having an overhaul.
And why not 2027?
2027, still, okay, Gen Zs, we have numbers, but we cannot give, us alone, we can't vote in a government. We also need the support of our parents. We need the support of other generations. Because politics is a game of numbers. And for us alone. And again, even without looking at it from the perspective of theft and corruption, just funding an election, your own election, your motorcade, if you need the posters, if you need what, it is money. And most of us, we are not yet there where we can mobilize enough resources. Because at the end of the day, even if it is not the aspect of tokenism, our country will have tokens too much. Even if it is not the aspect of tokenism, just the aspect of finances. Now, just finances, we are not yet there. Unless we get the sponsors, the partners. And now, if you get a sponsor or a partner, now that one, we are walking back to the patronage politics. That now, after elections, you will come and tell Nyakundi, I help you now to be the senator. Now I need you to employ the following people in the office. I need the following tenders. And now that is where corruption comes in. So we are not yet there. But if again, Kenyans, we can change our mentality. Tuko na ile akili ya acha nikule pesa ya jamaa kwa sababu akiingia huko ndani hata nifanyie kitu. And now that one makes us not to hold these leaders accountable. Because wewe ulikula ile 100, huwezi kukumbusha Nyakundi, you promised me this. So utaki kuniuliza kwa nini sijadeliver, because kuna 100 nilikupea nikafunga mawazo yako.
So already you said like we don't want to hold these people accountable. I've seen there are videos that have been trending.
Yes.
People asking on the 10-point agenda. Someone just said like close to everything was never even implemented. And we all have a very good constitution right now that it caters for every one of us. And we are doing, like, it's one of the best that we are just supposed to follow it religiously. And we are not doing that. Do you think, like, the issue with accountability, we are not following our constitution and we should, like, at some point, is it the only thing that is failing us, not following the constitution, or there is another thing that might be failing us?
And now you started very well. There are videos trending. Now, trends are for a short period. And now I'll walk back to
but they are true. They are true. Right?
They are true. But I'll walk back to the statement I started with, that in Kenyan we are a wave nation. So that one means that another thing will come and trend so that we'll forget. Now, 10-point agenda, like tumeanza kupatana nayo sahi ama ilikuanga?
See, you've been seeing kuna the other videos that were also trending even in 2024 during the Gen Z protest. They are now resurfacing back right now.
Now, Kenya ni yule mnyama anaitwa, kuna yule mnyama anaitwa warthog. Unajua warthog? Warthog kwa siasa wamemnickname Kasungu. You know that animal called warthog. Warthog ni yule mnyama ambaye anapigwa hapa, anakimbia hadi pale, anasahau alipigwa, anarudi. We need to just wake up in the morning and now decide that this is what we want. Not for a short period. And now you see, all these things, they lose credibility because there's a political hand behind it. The moment there's a political hand, those things, they lose credibility. The moment 3/4 of these things, or even all of these things, will be started by citizens themselves. It is upon citizens now to just wake up in the morning and say, By the way, you know what? Hatutaki jinsi ambavyo hii kitu inafanya. We need to change how this thing is being done. Because president hawezi kuja our promise barabara. My friend, whether you are in government or not, it is your right to get what?
To get the barabara.
To get the barabara thing. But now sisi tumezoesha politician, anakuja ana launch barabara, tunampigia makofi. Yeah, rais ameleta maendeleo kwetu. Whether you are in government or you are not in government. And now we've got used to such things to the extent that at times we forget that maendeleo ni haki yetu. Whether you voted in for that government or you never voted in for that government, you need development. And now let me bring again another thing. For us, now again, problem ingine yetu ni eti, we are really looking at huko juu as the presidency. Tunasahau kuna mtu hapa chini anaitwa MCA. We forget that MCA yako na pesa ya development. Tunasahau MP yako. The only person mwenye ana pesa ni senator. It is only the Senate that has not been given money for development. But after senator amesema, anateteanga county yake, anasema no, last year you gave us the 10 billion and it wasn't enough. We need 30 billion. Now, duty yake ni kukuja aumbie governor. Nilitetea wewe ukapata 30 billion. Umefanyia nini hii 30 billion? Watu wa county yetu umewafanyia nini? So, sisi tunaangalia huko juu, tumesahau kuangalia hapa chini. Sisi, the accountability comes in like this. Kuna chief baraza. How many of us attend chief baraza? Ndugu yangu Alphonse, mwana attend chief baraza?
Attend, lakini I only think I've attended once.
Chief baraza, it is one of the ways you have to hold the person accountable. Another thing, every weekend, your MP is supposed to be in your area. That's why MP.
But at these barazas even there, hukuwa zote?
Hukuwa ni watu hawaendi.
Okay, I'm starting to question how the communication about these chief barazas, how they are done.
Well,
because ningekuwa nasikia kila pahali. The last chief baraza that we went was to listen about stories of bursary at some point. Kitambo. Sijaisikia chief baraza tena ingine imeitwa.
Mostly wanaitanga.
They only eat when there is chaos. You kuna insecurity, there is something that's going. Ndio wanaita, lakini when you want to hold these people accountable, we should have like regular chief barazas.
Now you see, now for that one, inafaa itoke kwetu kwenda kwao. You know, you cannot hold me accountable and in a way that una expect mimi ni organize mkutano yangu Alphonse, ukuje kuniuliza maswali kwa mkutano yangu. Organize mkutano yako, uniite hapo. Then you tell me. Now, financial year, ndio hii tuna conclude now the previous year, the budget making process ilishaanza ya this new finance year. There are serious barazas to ask about mnataka maendeleo gani kwa hii kijiji. Now after tumeenda pale tumesema tunataka A, B, C, D. Wamepeteza ile kitu pale kwa bunge, hiyo finance bill. After that one, huwa tunarudi hata tuseme quarterly tunaita huyo MP tunamwambia, the last time you were here, we agreed that you are supposed to do for us 1, 2, 3 for this financial year. Have you done it? Huwa tufanyi hivyo. And now that one, inaletwa na Kenyans, we believe and trust in politicians for everything.
And that's where
we depend on them seriously. Yani, unasikia mtu amekufa kwa kijiji. Oh, viongozi wetu. Ama moto imechoma nyumba. Oh, hata hatukuona viongozi wetu wakuja kutupea pole. You know, we are used to these small things.
And do you think it's something that we've been conditioned to? Because you get most of the people, most so from the village side, they believe like they have to see a mheshimiwa so that they feel the presence. And mheshimiwa atakuja, maybe atawapea 10,000 na anakula mapesa nyingi huko nini. And they are not always here with the goodwill that you talked about.
And now that is where, for me, I'll always blame Kenyans. That's why I told you, if we really want that change, if we really want the working system, if we really want politicians of goodwill, tunaanza na sisi.
So do we blame the Kenyans, or do we blame the politicians for making us worship them?
No. Are they the ones making us now? Are they the ones making us worship them, or
Because
we are the
they
ones
feel-
worshiping them?
They feel. Have you seen these people when they are doing the NGCDF, whatever? So when there is something, a project being done somewhere, hata mtu erect to just a water tank somewhere, they have to be written NGCDF, funded by Nani, the current MP so and so is the one who did this. Congratulations. I don't know. You say that it is not. It is our right to get all these things. We are not supposed to beg for these things and feel like we are entitled to.
We are entitled to
that,
development.
to development.
Yes.
But I feel we have been conditioned in a way, and these people know how they do it, so that we feel like if we are not in their support, if we cannot worship them, then they will never bring this development. This comes to this. Right now, you're seeing a lot of stories about 2-term and 1-term.
Yes.
And who is going for 2-term and who is going for 1-term. And other people from the Lake region, if you hear their argument, they will tell you, we have not been in government for the longest. And now it is our time to be in the government so that we also get our projects done. Is it so? Is it supposed to be that? And it's something that has been there.
It is not supposed to be like that. But tushazoea, you know.
So who is to blame for that? Or
For me, between politicians and Kenyans, who are the majority? Who pay taxes?
Kenyans?
Who elected those politicians?
Kenyans.
And now who is to blame?
Okay.
Alphonse, who is to blame? Who are the majority?
Kenyans.
Who pay taxes?
Even those politicians are Kenyans themselves.
No, who pay taxes?
Kenyans.
Who elect politicians?
The Kenyan citizen.
Now who is to blame? This is.
So ni sisi ndio shida yetu.
Sisi ndio shida yetu.
So-
Because our politicians wanatoka miongoni mwetu. You know, by the way, Alphonse, at times, we regard these politicians too much. Do you know, venye tumeketi na wewe hapa umenijua tu. Don't expect a totally different person. Umeona, I'm interested in politics. Now, that is the same person who is making that. Already you know the good and the bad part of Nyakundi. But now because I know Nyakundi, let me blur the bad part and go with the good part. Nyakundi anaendeleza kufanya hayo mambo yake mabaya. Hadi sasa anakomaa. Umeona jogoo ambaye amekomaa vizuri. Yule hata ufanye nini yeye ashakomaa hapo. Huwezi mbadilisha. And now that is the same situation with our politicians. You see, it always starts small. Unasikia student leader alifanya hii akafanya ile. Club chairperson.
It brings you back to the question of track record.
Track record. Huyu jamaa alikuwa club chair, alifanya hii na ile. But wewe unaona hii ni ndogo. Hii ndogo ndio ina inform ile kubwa. Huyu mtu kama alikula 10,000. Mark my words, Alphonse, akipata that 1 million atakula. And now, I'll say this. Not that most of us Kenyans, we are good. It is that a chance in the
Someone said something. Do you know these politicians, they come from our own society.
True.
And we are members of the same society.
Of the same society.
So, you will not blame them so much when you're saying, wetu ni wezi, ama nini. It's like classifying them into their own.
Into their own,
like, you are the ones who are doing this to us. But remember, these people, they are our brothers, they are our sisters,
our
they are our fathers, our mothers, our husbands, our wives. They are all there. And we are the ones who are building them to be like that. So, we are the ones who are having a problem. Okay, so tumesikia story ya maragwe na mahindi. So we are the ones who are producing these people.
We are the ones producing these people, yes.
Brings me to a point. Do you think we are far away from getting a real change in Kenya? With whatever is going on, you've been seeing a lot of political wokeness, things like NIKO KADI, and a lot of youths participating in the political arena, do you think like, we have a little hope that we can make things better so far?
It is the hope that kills. But there is hope. I believe that going forward, things will get better. Things will get better. But I need to tell Kenyans one thing. That never never think that things will get better to the extent that mafuta petrol itashuka kutoka huko 180 ikuje 100. No, things will get better in a way that economically pesa ikiingia kwa mfuko, and then when things are moving, you know, hata kama hiyo petrol ni 300, it is very okay. So long as when I get on the road is well, public transport is streamlined. Now, you know, when the services are there, even if you cut a tax yote, it is very okay. Thomas Sankara says this: for change to come, one requires a certain degree of madness. Go and do a follow-up on who Thomas Sankara was, the president of Burkina Faso. Yule jamaa alikuwa anaenda na baiskeli. Yule jamaa alihakisha Burkina Faso imekuwa Burkina Faso. Before now, the Compaore brought in the overthrew the friend. So, as a country, are we ready? Who is ready to own that madness?
I think the Gen Zs are owning it.
This
is just mediocrity, in short.
For me, no, let me not call it mediocrity. I'll really wish us to be standing out instead of the generational thing. You know, the generational thing feels like a trend. Because currently, even in the workplace, you go, you want to do your best, you'll hear that, no, these Gen Zs are wajui kazi. No, it is not okay. As far as the movement is generational, we need to like stand out. We need to stand out, show our ability. Let our ability not be at mimi ni Gen Z. Being a Gen Z, that is not an ability. It is just that you are born in a certain period. There are also other generations. So we need to like stand out, show like now, Generation Alphonse is capable of doing things.
But they are doing something, Nyakundi. Aren't they doing anything?
No, people are doing it. People are doing it. But now, politics is a game that you can't just wake up in the morning and decide that you want to do it or to a specific path. There is somebody who told me that our politicians are playing chess while we are playing checkers. Sisi tunacheza inaitwa draft. Lakini hao, for them they know very well the next move. But for us, we don't know the next move. For us, we are doing it one thing at a time. And now that is where, if we really wish to bring now the required change, we need to think one, go back to the village. Go back to the village. Tusikue kadi on Instagram. Tusikue kadi on Twitter. Let us go to the village. That's why I said this. As far as uko kadi, hakikisha unatafuta akili ya kutumia hiyo kadi.
Lakini tulikuwa na akili ndio tukue kadi. Ama do you think tuko tuna kadi na hatuna akili?
Sijasema watu hawana akili. You know, even in this Alphonse, umeniambia tuko na akili. At the university politics, do we do tribal politics or we don't?
To some point, it depends in which university you are. What have you encountered? For real, I think I've had people supporting people from their own tribes. That's one thing I've had. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to lie. I've heard people doing things according to, when you are kwetu, so I'll give you our vote. I've heard about that. But also, I've seen and I've heard about people trying to support other people from other tribes. Yeah.
True. I'll say this if kama mwenye yako university anasema tutapigia mtu wetu, jamani, yule nyanya yetu mwenye yako vile atajua aje si lazima mtu wetu ndiye akwe pale. Who will enlighten them? That's why I said number one thing, let us go back to the video.
So sisi ndio tujioshe,
tujitakase sisi wenyewe. Tujitakase, na tukijitakasa, let us go to the village and explain to these people. This is the reason tunataka kuwa kadi. This is the reason why we don't want person A and we want person B. This is the reason why person B is fit for this position and not person B. We need to go and explain this thing to them.
Yeah.
And we need to enlighten our people that you don't need that token from that politician for you to get the services. You know, mtu anafika pale anapewa unga. Shosho atapiga makofi aseme yule alileta unga, huyo ndio tunapea kura.
Poverty is the problem.
Poverty again. I know these people have mastered the game. That's why I told these people are playing chess. Well, we are playing what? Checkers. So, they've mastered the game to the extent that now they are exploiting our problems. Like they know very well. The youth, you sisi ndio tuna dictate about employment. Like we fully depended on them. You have to like now say, as youth, we want employment. So a politician knows very well, you want employment. So atakuja wa promise, I'll bring employment. I'll employ 10,000 youth the first 90 days. Mpige makofi, huyu ndio kiongozi. They've mastered. And now wataleta kidogo waambie, by the way, nilifika huko katikati, sijui nikapatana na mamba, ikakataa. Aanze maneno ingine. 5 years zishaisha. Arudi tena rebrand. Because
by the way, they rebrand.
You know, broad base haina tofauti na handshake.
Haina.
Ile handshake walituambia sijui universal health. Uliona universal health?
What?
Ile wakati wa handshake kulikuwa na history ya affordable housing.
Yeah, it was.
Sasa hizi kusikia kelele.
Sasa hizi ni boma yetu.
Sasa hii inaitwa boma yetu. Ile wakati kulikuwa na kuna pesa pia ilikuwa inapeana. Sasa hii inaitwa sijui Nyota Fund, sijui Hustler Fund. Yani all these things they are being rebranded. And it is because Kenyans we are being lured easily. Yani politician wetu ni kama
njaa.
Njaa. Politician wetu ni kama panya. Anauma anapuliza. Unasikia yenyewe hata si uchungu. Wacha nitulie. Tena anakuja anauma anapuliza. Miaka 5 imeisha, umemwongeza time nyingine. Anauma anapuliza, miaka 10 imeisha. Anauma anapuliza.
To cut this thing short. What do you think is the way forward? What because we are trying just to get the solution. I know it might not be the best solution because there are a lot of things that we need to do to make it. But what do you think is the one thing that the university, not necessarily university, like as Kenyans, as the university students, as the Gen Zs or the Gen X, all that generation, and even as generally as Kenyans, we should do for us to get to like a better place so far, because we want to get to a better place.
For us to get to a better place, number one thing, all the wars, all the battles are always won in the head. In the head. Your mindset. We need to have a change, a renewal. Tunaenda kwa Biblia wanasema, give me a mind of flesh and renew my mind. We need a renewal of the mindset. We need to start with individual. You know, there's an issue ya dealing with groupings. Kama saa hii kuna group inajiita, kuna hiyo Gen Z, kuna group ya Linda Mwananchi, kuna group ya Linda Ground, kuna group ya Tuta, kuna group ya Wanta, kuna undecided, kuna... Now, when we will start like now, mimi kama Nyakundi, this is what I want. This is what is right. After knowing what is right, go and sit down with the other two people. Know what is right for person A and B. Now mumekuwa wangapi? Watatu. Now we start growing. But ianze na nani? Individual. But at the moment it will start as a group. That one means that there is somebody somewhere who has to dictate what you do. Now, if the person is dictating what you don't want, will you follow that path? No. We need to start from individual level. And then after starting from individual level, let us create awareness. Let us now start mobilizing. Make people aware about now this thing. Why do we need to be Kadi? Why is being Kadi the right thing? Because kuna mtu tu atasema niko Kadi, but haelewi ni kwa nini ako Kadi.
For sure.
Kuna mtu haelewi, mark my words. Kuna mtu ako Kadi because ni movement. Kuna mtu hayuko Kadi because anajua hii kadi yangu naenda kuifanyia hii kitu.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, guys. We've had a lot of insights from Christopher Nyakundi himself, and we thank him so much for coming. And we also invite him some other day to come and also just get these insights, like just get a conversation about whatever we are doing with our political wokeness and also our mindsets as Kenyans and also just like as campus students. So until next time, peace.